Says almost there. All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tanya Oliver, and we are going to be thriving this holiday season. So I've committed to you guys for how to thrive during the holiday season. This was something that I struggled with for a very long time. Wrote out this ebook. If you guys want it, just send me a message. Wrote out this 15-page ebook in 2016. And I was like, you know what? I'm not letting the last few weeks, the last month of the year, handicap me for the next year coming in, because then it took a whole month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months to reclaim control over everything. And if we have goals and targets and things that we're aiming for, we don't have time to be slowed down by the time we're stepping into quarter one. So the whole concept around this is how to thrive during quarter four, right? We're in Q4, how to thrive during Q4. And that includes really how to take care of ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, and even energetically, right? So the energy that we're projecting out has a big impact on how we're producing and how we're generating in money and the rooms that we're in. I did a post yesterday, the rooms that we're positioned in. Eventually, you don't have to chase anybody. People just come to you. I don't know what's going on, my connection here. You guys see and hear me? So, this is really about strengthening the core of you, strengthening your resonance. And it's pretty amazing the power of really taking care of all aspects of self and how it really does impact the amount of money you got in your bank account, the type of people you're attracting, the conversations you're having. And if we understand that happiness is the byproduct of fulfillment, then maybe we would start to aim for fulfillment. And then the result or the outcome is going to be happiness. Yay. So it really is simple. It's not easy. And if you understand, there's 2 reasons why people stay stuck AF and we block our blessings, because this whole theme around this season, the theme around the 30 days of thriving is transitioning your obstacles into opportunities and your pain into power. A lot of triggers are being brought up. So today we're really going to talk about how to reclaim control, or how to be in control of your toxic traits, of your undesired bad habits. I say this because we talked about this earlier on. Each series kind of layers on top of the next. And when you label something as good and bad, it creates negative, really, really low energy as far as guilt, shame, judgment, which nobody has time to be operating in that state of energy, because it just drains us. And one of the biggest compliments that I get, and when people start working with me, is vitality. You have so much life to you. You have so much vitality. Yeah, you can have it too. Everybody has access to this. And if you knew me a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you're like, whoa, how are you consistently moving ahead, thriving? And somebody had complimented me, and I love you guys, but somebody had complimented me about my glow. They're like, wow, you're really glowing, your skin, your energy. It's not just about the external detoxing. It's about the internal detoxing. What do you need to detoxify within your heart, within your mind? What is it that is weighing heavy on you in your spirit? What's weighing heavy on you in your body? What are some things that you're procrastinating, that you're avoiding dealing with because maybe you don't feel strong enough to tackle them? And it's really just about having these real authentic conversations. But before we really dive into it, because we're here for 30 minutes, an hour, if you guys have questions, what I want you to do is put your questions in here. Yes, we are going to be talking about habits. That's a good one we'll talk about a little bit later. There's so many things to talk about. But what I want you to do, if there's something that I say, or Jen wrote an amazing question here, if there's something that you find very valuable, for those coming in later, go ahead and drop that down in the comment box. And also, if you want to hop on, I'll bring you guys up here as well, kind of being in, I don't like saying the hot seat, but in the diamond seat. Let's change it up, right? Let's say it in the diamond seat. And then also, so I want you to take a moment. I want you to let your friends know what's up. Tell your friends what we're about. Tell your friends we're about to talk about like reclaiming control over our bad habits. And one of them, Jen said in here, was tools that we recommend to stop procrastinating. And that's a great question. We actually have a whole course around procrastination and a webinar on 3 steps to stop procrastinating. If what I was about to say earlier, there's 2 reasons that block our blessings and 2 reasons why we don't move forward. One of them is resistance, which comes into procrastination. I promise there's always a reason why I say something. Resistance stems from procrastination because we don't understand and we're not clear on our core values and our priorities. And procrastination is actually an emotional regulator. We think that we're protecting ourselves from maybe the anxiety that we're feeling, the overwhelm. But it only makes the situation worse, right? So I know when I procrastinate something, it's either from 3 reasons, which are so true. And when I immerse myself into figuring out the truth of something, I go down this rabbit hole and I'm like, until I figure out the core of it. That's one of my skill sets. One of them is overwhelm. So we procrastinate because we think we're regulating our overwhelm, but really it's backfiring. The second is we don't feel safe to move forward. So maybe you made some pretty, undesired decisions in the past, and that created what that's known as a cellular impression in the body. So we created an impression or a memory. And when we go to make another decision, we lack trusting ourselves, so we don't feel safe to move forward because we think we're going to make a poor decision again. So therefore, it really comes down to self-trust, that we don't trust ourselves enough to make the right decisions. And we keep taking our past and projecting it into our future. And this is what I'm talking about, transitioning our obstacles into opportunities. Hey, this is a new opportunity. For example, the holidays. Maybe I don't have to feel like I'm surviving or have a miserable experience or commit to people, places, and things that doesn't serve me anymore. It's not in alignment to where I know, who I know I need to be. And it's kind of like chains around your ankles. It's like the heaviness on your shoulders. And then the third is, so we have overwhelm, not feeling safe to move forward, and distractions. There's so many options out there in life. Gosh, I was at the gym this morning. I ran into one of the women that I see at a few of the events here in Miami. And I was like, girl, like I am time auditing. I'm only setting like 1 to 2 events a week, probably 1. And because it's impacting my workouts, it's impacting this, it's impacting the way that I'm showing up in my business and in my life and how I feel. And if energy is one of the most important things to me, so this is understanding your priorities, your intrinsic goals, as everything else in your life lines up to and matches your internal success with your external success. Like, what do I consider success for me? How do I define success? Because if you are busting your butt and you get the car, you get the home, you get the relationship, you get this, number one, you can't sustain it, right? Because you don't have the endurance to keep up with your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. Or number 2, you still feel the same way about yourself inside of your heart, inside of your mind. Your mind's probably more chaotic. You're like a little gremlin. You're like, right? The little gremlin energy, that like anxiety. And you're like, whoa, like, does this line up? Is the internal success aligned to the external success? And when it comes back to procrastination, it's really just an understanding. So if we're clear, and there's 2 main core things that block our blessings, transitioning our pain into power, because this theme is around obstacles into opportunities, pain into power. Everything can be transitioned. Then you're like, okay, well, if I'm delaying, why am I delaying what is going to make me happy? Why am I delaying what I really want? Am I distracted internally, externally? Is there something I need to clean up? Maybe you need to clean up your house. I know that's what's on my list today because I've been nonstop. I got to clean up. I'm going to do like my laundry. I'm put the food away. I'm make some nice home cooked meals because this is going to scale me with how I'm performing mentally, physically, emotionally, and my energy. my energy. Yeah, we're transitioning that pain into power. But if we're delaying things, like I know I owe my accountant like my statements and I keep procrastinating, and I'm like, okay, that is taking up energy and that is taking my energy. And if I value my energy and I value my resonance, that means I need to stop those other things that are there. And if we're getting clear on taking our priorities and giving it a label of a 1, 2, and a 3. So if we're giving our, sorry guys, family. So if we're giving things a label of a, oops, sorry. If we're giving, can you guys see and hear me? Because I had some calls come in. I have to put that on airplane. So if we're giving things as a 1, 2, and a 3 when it comes to priorities, 1 is I could go to bed. This is no longer taking away my power. This is no more draining my energy. Because the things that we're delaying or we're postponing is taking away our energy. It's taking away pieces of our power. So when we actually take action and understand, well, wait a second, let me get clear. And let me look at this real fast. Hold on. I'm so big on words because that procrastination. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Let's be real, like with the truth here. Procrastination. I don't know why I love doing this. Hold on.
Procrastination.
Do you do that? Do you just like do that? Like
procrastination.
That's one more time. No. All right.
Procrastination.
Who does these things? Okay, anyway. So procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something. So if you know that there's something that is going to get you closer to your goals and to your targets, why would we block our blessings? Why would we block our blessings? Like, why? If we know something is taking away our energy, if we know that something is preventing us from actually like getting closer to something that we want, why? It's because we are overwhelmed. We don't feel safe to move forward because we don't trust ourselves and our ability to make the right decisions. And number 3 is distractions, the internal distractions and the external distractions. And sometimes there's some things that you have to handle. Thank you for repeating this. Sometimes there's things that we have to handle that it's going to bring the momentum or the clarity. We talked about this last time. What builds confidence? A lot of people are asking for confidence, and that's some of their intrinsic words. Like, oh, I want confidence. You actually want clarity. Clarity is what moves and builds confidence. When you're clear about something, when I come on there, people are like, how are you so confident? Because I know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm certain, I'm clear. I've been teaching this stuff for 18 years, and patterns and results are proven, not just by me, but every single person that I work with. And so I'm clear. And if I'm not clear, if I'm confused, I'm going to go down my rabbit hole. I'm going to put myself in my little monk cave, which is right here. And I'm going to get to the answer. I'm going to seek out experts and professionals, and I'm going to get to the core of it so that I can then be confident in what I'm projecting out. Because I really value, and I say like my word is law. And so when I speak something, I know that it's true once I have that clarity, because truth, A Course in Miracles says, truth cannot be learned. It can only be recognized. So when we have an open heart, truth resides in our heart. Our heart can recognize what truth is. You're going to feel it. I always say, like, when we come up with power words and power statements, which is that internal GPS, it's going to hit you in the heart. The brain and the mind, which can be a great advantage to you if you learn how to program it to get your mind obedient to your heart and to get your mind on the same page as whatever was planted inside of your heart for your life path or whatever you're trying to achieve in your life. And hopefully that made sense. And of course, there's different strategies around it. So, okay, if we understand that procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something, like maybe we talked about 5 simple ways to strengthen your willpower. One of them was transitioning tomorrow to today, which is actually another big form of procrastination. Transitioning tomorrow to today. Okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, I'm going to do it today. At least let me make a checklist of my priorities, a 1, 2, and a 3. 1 means if I rest my head on my pillow tonight, I can go to bed and actually feel satisfied. I feel happy, I feel proud, I feel good. 2 is it can wait for tomorrow or the next day. This actually eliminates that overwhelm because we're human beings. You can't do every single thing. My checklists are like ongoing. But it also comes down to time auditing. I'm auditing my time, what is due immediately, and separating what's urgent and what's important. That's what a priority is. What is urgent and what's important? A lot of times people think like, let me handle the urgent things. The urgent things need to be time audited and time blocked. The important things are the things that are going to be getting you closer to your goals. Whatever you're trying to achieve. I'm writing a book right now. Every single week, every single day, it needs my attention because that whole year process is going to be 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, which is going to equal that whole end of the year. And by the time you know it, hey, I have a published book. I'm a published author. I hope I'm a best-selling author because this book is for you guys. It's a lot of money and it's a lot of time. But I know that if I die next year, or if I'm gone in 2 years or 3 years, I've left the legacy. And also I've learned from Stormy Wellington, she was saying there's 3 things that if you ask, am I being lazy? Am I leaving a legacy? Oh man, it was like 3 L's. I forget. Lazy, legacy, and I have to come back to it. But I always ask, I'm like, am I being lazy? Am I leaving a legacy? Or is it, do you guys know what she said? That third one, I wrote it down somewhere. It was so good. And I was like, oh, okay. And so getting back to that procrastination, and the third one is it needs to get done this week or maybe like sometime around this month, but it has to get your attention because the thing is, that list is going to keep getting longer and longer and longer and longer. And this is where I get really clear and I'm like, okay, well, what are my priorities? What's urgent and what's important? The things that are urgent, I call them the distractions, the distractors, and I put them in a like an hour, a 2-hour time like audit in my day. And I go and I tackle those things. Like maybe, oh, I forgot I need more like soap. I need this, I need that. Like I got to order this. I got to call the dentist. I got to like, just like the personal things that I need to do, all those little things add up. So if you bunch them in one, you can just start to execute them one after the next. I'm going to execute it one after the next and it's going to get done. Yeah, you're going to free yourself right here. And another thing too is like, it's really about strategizing. It's about having a game plan, but it's also about understanding your behavior, understanding the core of why we do things. There's 5 core obstacles that do block our blessings, and it comes down into 5 categories. One of them is the procrastination and laziness, and then that really does beat people down and it breaks down confidence, self-worth, and self-value because then you start to lose trust in yourself thinking like I can't accomplish things. And I used to procrastinate stuff all the time. I would be the one in school. I would do my paper like the night of or that morning of. Like I don't know, I would just like put myself in corners all the time and I was just got so tired of having that stress and that anxiety. I was like, if I can do better, I'm going to do better. You know, like this is unnecessary. These are things that are within my control that I need to learn to plan ahead and I have to be more strategic about because imposing this type of pain is just not acceptable. Like I don't want it anymore. I don't want to operate like this. I don't want to feel like this. Like there's so much more to life than why am I delaying my dreams? Why am I delaying me excelling in life and in business and in relationships and in everything? And this also comes down to setting healthy boundaries with yourself, setting healthy boundaries with your outings. That's one thing. You can't be in 2 places at the same time. You have to choose where you're going to put your energy based on what your priorities are in this season of your life. Something for you guys to understand is like life is in seasons. Like we're in a season right now. It's not a coincidence that we're in the fall season, stepping into winter season, like probably tomorrow. It's a step ahead. It's like right around the corner. So you have to understand like this is a season I'm in. These are my priorities right now. And there's one thing that has to be a non-negotiable. It has to be a non-negotiable for you to really become a high-end achiever. And that is your target stays the same, And I see this happen a lot, especially when it comes to goal setting and achieving, sustaining, and surpassing goals, like your true goals, not your backup goals. A lot of people set backup goals because of the reason of procrastination and laziness. I mean, we can go in so many different segments of this whole conversation and like ping-ponging it back and forth, and getting to distractions. Like I said, like I'm staying focused on one path until you reach that end target. If you decide that that target is not what you thought it was going to be, or it's not what you wanted, or it didn't match up to your internal success. Remember, we want our internal success to match our external success and vice versa. And if not, you can always change your mind. You can always course correct the path you're on. So what happens is when people consistently procrastinate, they end up setting backup goals because they've lost the belief, because the mind is programming based on consistent experiences. But even though it's in your heart, you've given up on yourself, and we can't quit on ourselves. We have to create a new season in life, a new beginning, transitioning our pain into power. This is where this comes in. Like, no matter what, I might have a temporary defeat. I'm going to go to a yoga class. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to cry it out. I'm going to do some EFT work. Like, I got my arsenal of tools, but I'm going to get back up. And I'm never going to compromise my true goals. I'm not setting these backup goals anymore. This isn't what I really want. Like, get to the core of what is it that you really want. If you want to go around and drive a Lambo, cool. Like, just make sure it aligns to why you want that Lambo, and try to figure out, like, how can I feel this today? I had a conversation with a gentleman the other day, and he's like, oh, I want a Porsche. And I was like, those are your dreams and your goals? Like, that's it? I was like, well, let's break it down a little bit more. Cause I was like, cause I'm, I didn't want anybody to feel judged. Like, I never want anybody to feel judged. It's just programming. So I'm like, well, what is it that you feel driving that Porsche is going to give you? Like, what is it that you feel it's going to give you? And he's a doctor. And he was like, power. I said, okay, well, what can you do today to make you feel that you're more in your power, in your personal power, in your energy, where you have value? And as you allow time, whatever you're building in your business, to catch up to you, for you to get that. But where people get confused is maybe they do achieve all these like fun toys or these materialistic things, but internally, that toy never really gave them what they wanted, because that's something that no piece of something you can buy can ever bring to you. Or if it does, it's very temporary. Or maybe if something happens in life and it's taken away, you feel like your whole life is crumbling and you're worth nothing. And we are more than our things. And as you consistently to grow and to expand and to reach for what your true heart-centered goals are, which are intrinsic goals. We're going to be doing a whole thing on this in December, which is like in a few weeks, about goal setting and building out your life wheel and all this like really cool stuff. Because remember, we said happiness is the outcome of feeling fulfillment. And if we understand, like, hey, wait, I can do something to make me feel more empowered today. Yeah, you can have that intrinsic goal and accomplish it today. And there's like a whole system of how we like break it down and gain clarity, because clarity is what builds momentum into confidence, and get clear on, okay, well, this is how I can achieve this today. It's not like a year, 3, 5, 10 years from now. It comes back into, reclaiming your personal power, transitioning your pain into power, and the obstacles that you might be facing right now based on circumstances or whatever's triggering you into an opportunity to change your story. I say this all the time. I change my mind. I had to run a few errands this morning, and I have my workout in. I share my stories with you guys, try to take you through my day. And I was talking to the gentleman that like I purchased something from, and he was like, how's your day going? And I was like, today's my big day. Today's my big break. And he goes, wow, I like that. And I was like, it is. Why not? And there's something that I always carry with me. And it always, if you're ever in a funk, or if you're ever feeling like sorry for yourself, or you're feeling like in a mood, and listen, we all get like that. How do we get out of it as quickly as possible? How can we transition our day? One thing that I always remember to say to myself is, God or universe or energy, whatever you believe in, make sure you feel light about it. God gave me a second chance, and it's called today. Today is my big break. Today is my big opportunity. I'm so curious to know who I'm going to come across today. I'm so excited to know the type of conversations I'm going to have. I get to, I get to. And if we talked about 5 simple ways to strengthen our willpower, one of them was I have to, or I should, transitioning. I should work out. I should, network a little bit more. I should work a little bit more on my business. I should get to that. When we talked about procrastination, when Jen had asked, you know what, I get to be in this position where I can expand. I choose to, I want to, and there's a whole, gosh, I don't know where it is, but there's a T chart in here where we kind of break it down. Do I even really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? And it's just, when I was saying in the beginning, there's 2 reasons that, like I said, all these conversations can go into so many different things. That's why a lot of my coaching programs, I did a reels the other day, and I showed you, I pulled out my whiteboard. It looks like this tree. I'm not even kidding you. It looks like my tree. It's a whole freaking tree diagram of, it's not a one answer thing. It's okay, here's the content, but here's how we break it down. Here's how we execute it. Here's what happens when you face obstacles. That's the biggest thing, is nobody teaches, or I've come across, that's why I created it, where they teach you when things aren't going good, or when life gives you some really traumatic things. How do you continue to move forward? Because that's what thriving is. Thriving is a forward movement. It's a progress. It's getting back up when you face plant, and having healthy tools, healthy speed, without numbing yourself, without hurting yourself, without hurting other people. How to really become an asset to yourself, and how to not allow your cravings and your desires to win. Because those are the things that really fog us down. They weigh us down. And earlier on, procrastination, 5 obstacles that will block your blessings. They are obstacles, but if we're transitioning our obstacles into opportunities, it's important you know what they are. Number 1, Jen had asked about it. It's a big obstacle. It's not just you. It's many people, especially because Jen's a boss. You guys, if you know her, people that are the most successful, most of the time that is a trait that blocks them. And it's not about how somebody is doing compared to somebody else. It's about doing what you know you're capable of doing. It's about living life as the highest expression of yourself. It's about, if you know you can do better, you actually are doing better. It's about living life vivaciously and living in your personal power. And only you know what you're capable of. And sometimes we don't know what we're capable of when we remove all the obstacles. Who would I be without this? Who would I be without procrastination? Who would I be without self-doubt? Who would I be without my cravings and my desires consuming me and controlling me? Who would I be without anger and frustration and worry every single day, weighing me down and stealing my energy and my happiness and the level of fulfillment in my life and my presence, be present with my family, my children, my company, my clients? Who would I be without these obstacles? Who would I be without anxiety, without waking up every single day anxious? That's heavy. That's heavy. It drains us. It steals our life. It does. And I know because I know. So, as I'm going to tell you good news, we still have some slots left in this coaching thing. We get to the core of this shiznit. A lot of people don't talk about, we've got emotional hunger, we've got physical hunger, we've got all these things. Who would I be without these obstacles? And then knowing what they are and how to transition them, how to shapeshift them, and then spending your time and your energy into learning how to become really good at the opposite. Procrastination, if we say, is the action. We'll have a little humor in this because this stuff can get super serious.
Procrastination.
Thank you, sir. So procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something. So if we know what this is, we spend time with it, we can leverage off of it. We can leverage off of the undesired things, the obstacles, and transitioning them into opportunity is like, okay, if I know this is about the action of delaying and postponing something, and I understand that it is an emotional regulator and it's trying to regulate me being overwhelmed, valid, me not feeling safe to move forward, valid. I can see how I made some poor decisions in the past. That's not me anymore. I changed my mind, grown. And 3 is distractions, the internal and external distractions. Okay, so I understand this. Resistance is not understanding. So now we can remove the bridge of resistance. And what's the opposite? Oh, the opposite is actually action. Oh, it's action? Yeah. Even if I just sit down and make a list, yes, you've then just built confidence and momentum for yourself. How freaking cool is that? You built confidence and momentum to take action. Many people think the opposite of procrastination is productivity, to be productive and to do it 100% right. Like, no, it's just to take action. You'll figure out the next step. The next person will be brought into your life, like me. Here I am for you. You're here. I'm here. Like it lined up. You asked for it. Here we are. You asked a question. I'm answering. It's action, not productivity. I mean, not being like super giving so much energy out here. This phone is going off. So it's about action and taking actionable steps. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Grateful for you guys too. I love this stuff. This fulfills me. I was thinking about this today as I'm working out and I'm driving, getting some food because your girl likes to eat. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, because I was thinking about that procrastination today, thinking about what we're going to talk about today. And sometimes I just like surrender it. I have things planned, but I am also really big on like going with what people are really wanting. And I'm driving, I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, so many people, because I see, and I've messaging people are messaging me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like these different platforms, TikTok. And like 4 years pass, and I remember having a conversation with somebody the other day, and she's like, you've grown so much, or somebody that hasn't seen me. If you guys didn't know me years ago, 60 pounds overweight, I had food addiction, totally consumed me, alcohol, smoking, like all these cravings and desires. Who would I be without them? Hello, I'm here. This is me. This is who I am without them. Life is so much more amazing. I don't know if that's the correct sentence. So life is so much more amazing on this side. But it took me over a decade to understand how I can transition my pain into power and my obstacles into opportunities. And I'm grateful. Do I want to go through it again? Hell no. But am I grateful that I did? Yeah, I am, because I have knowledge on how I can help other people get onto the other side. And I was thinking, I'm like, man, the conversation that I had with this person, they're in the same freaking position they were 4 years ago. Like, that breaks my heart. Breaks my heart when I see somebody in the same space they were a year ago. It's sad. It's sad. I am not the same person I was a year ago. So if you come at me and try to remind me of who I am, let me reintroduce myself to you. I'm not going to take offense, but I would like an opportunity to reintroduce myself to you, because I've worked really hard this last year on becoming and building the new. And this next year, I will be doing the same. You'll see me next year. I'll probably save this live. I might be talking about the same thing, but a whole different frequency. I know that for facts. And there's a lot of you guys, and it doesn't have to be this way anymore. You change your mind at any point in time, where a year goes by and you're in the same space you were last year. November 19th, 2021. How much growth have you made? Just be honest. It's okay. Like at any point in time, your past doesn't have to be projected into your future. But it's important you have those honest conversations with yourself, because there was a long period of time, those obstacles were really, really blocking my growth and where I was going in my life and what I wanted and how much I wanted to achieve stuff. And I was like, man, this person's in the same position, up and down, yo-yoing, because people with our personality traits, majority of you guys that I attract, because we're all mirrors at maybe different levels and different seasons in life. And what you see in me is going to be what you see in yourself. It's there, whether it is active or not. Is like you have an opportunity to change your mind. Like I can change my mind today. But you have to be honest with yourself and acknowledge like what your obstacles are and where that pain is, and allow yourself to move through it, because even the procrastination is about that, being honest, just having that honest conversation. So that's what we're, talking about. And this whole 30 days of thriving is knowing that this season, like you can leave this season feeling amazing. And I remember for years when I struggled so much with just being able to sustain. And I remember for a few years when I was like, I just want to sustain everything that I've built. I don't want to go backwards, because with this personality trait, the people that I attract is they have a very extreme personality trait. And with the extreme personality trait, it's an all or nothing. I'm either on or I'm off. I wasn't proud of that. I wanted to be on all the time. And if I'm off, I'm sleeping. And that's about it, right? I'm sleeping or I'm at the beach. But I'm at the beach, I'm actually recharging myself. So it's still productive. I'm still taking action on knowing like this is my priority right now. I'm yellow lighting, and this is what's going to pour back into me so that I can charge myself up and I can then serve and do what I got to do, or build things out, or run a business, or be a better human being. But this is actually me taking action on it, not just pretending that laying here watching Netflix or something like that. I'm like, no, I actually need to be at the beach. I need to be charging myself, or I need to be at yoga, or I need to be at the gym lifting and moving all this energy out of me, because energy or emotions are just energy and motion. They need to be moved. They need to be expressed. I did a video a while ago on primal screaming. I have a client, she's in her mid 80s, and we had her do some primal screaming. She's had 80 something years of suppressing her anger. And she's like, ah, started coughing a little bit, but that was okay. I was like, yeah, you're just like activating those vocal cords because they've been weak for a little bit. So now we're like strengthening them, and just like anything, like be okay. Like I'm weak before I'm strong. I suck at this until I'm good at it, until I'm great at it. Like I'm this until I'm that. Nothing is permanent. Everything is seasonal. When you can understand that concept, you can give yourself some grace and some compassion and be easy on yourself, and just like, move with it. I remember this morning, I was like, I got going maybe like an hour later than what I wanted to. And the self-talk just started coming at me, like that old part of me. And I was like, girl, you're amazing. You're up. You're at it. Like you needed that hour to just do a lying meditation, get your energy in better space. Like, but you're still up and going. Like it's okay if it didn't happen exactly the way that you wanted to, because that mental beatdown and that self-dialogue can really destroy us. And that's another thing too about being honest about it. That's every day there can be a confliction. Some days it's a lot easier to operate in a very like loving, positive, compassionate way when everything is working smoothly. But when things aren't working smoothly, and there's a lot of fires, and there's a lot of life chaotic things going on, and people are talking about certain things, and that other part of that voice of you can easily creep in. And you're like, like, no, like you're doing amazing. Keep up, get back up. Like you're up, you showed up. Let's get to it. Take it at your pace. Take it at your pace. Like not every day are you going to be sprinting. Even sprinters don't run at that same speed. They sprint and then they walk it out. Some days you got to walk it out, but you're still moving. Do you understand? Like right now, even in this holiday season, if you're just walking it out, you're still moving. You didn't collapse. You're not laying on the couch eating the Haagen-Dazs. Like, get up, move, use this extra time. If you have more time off, use that time to pour into yourself, to get yourself on some form of a schedule, to develop habits and rituals and routines that are going to support where you're going the next I said 24 hours, that too. The next 12 months, the next month, the next, like, whatever it might be. Whatever those extrinsic goals are, because people are going to start talking about goal setting. For me, the rebel in me, like, hated goal setting because I sucked at it, because I never reached, achieved, or sustained it. I'd always go up and I go down. I go up and I go down, whether it being the body, whether it being the business, whether it being the relationship. Like, for so long, everything was an up and a down. I was like, I just want, like, steady. I want stability, but I also want growth. And I realize a lot of people want the same thing. Yeah, sometimes you can take a quantum leap, and those are cool. Those are cool, those quantum leaps, but can you sustain it? Are you going to be able to sustain it? One of the biggest things studies have shown, people are more afraid of success than they are of failure. I learned a lot of this stuff when I was doing EFT work, which is emotional freedom technique. And a big part of understanding when I was an addict, like, why would I abuse myself when I'm trying to love myself? And I see this meme a lot and it says me versus me. And I was like, no, it's me loving me. It's me on my own team. Like, I'm not about this, like, creating a separation within myself, because if everything is a mirror expression of ourselves, an external expression of us, of what we're internally suppressing, I don't want any more division. So how do I get on my own winning team first? So let me understand all segments of me. And one of my greatest, like, cravings is self-mastery. Like, I want to learn to master self, and I want to teach others how to do the same. I want to learn how to regulate my emotions. So when I'm having a little temper tantrum inside of me, little T, I call her little T, little Heidi, because she just hides and then she comes out and she's like, ah, you're like, oh my God, where did you come from? Like, this stuff doesn't have to be so, like, you got to laugh at that part of yourself, because every single human being, all right, every single human being has that, what's the word? I want to say dialogue, but duality. The duality, and there are certain habits, behaviors, and routines that, if are put in place, like an algorithm or they must support your next level upgrade. And when you have those things in place and they become more like autopilot, there's not so much mental energy or effort or trying to figure it out. I'm not saying it's every day is going to be smooth, but I know my body starts to, like, tell me, like, hey, it's time for you to work me out. It's time for us to go rollerblading. It's time for us to go dancing. It's time for me to do yoga. It's time for me to, because I've developed that, like, time frame of when my body is ready for movement, so that I know whatever I do, I can show up as like the highest expression of myself within this day, depending on if I'm walking or if I'm sprinting. So yeah, hopefully that served you guys today. I do want to let you know as well, we did reopen the doors because I had a few people message me that we let in. But we're still open until Monday. If you go to www.tanyacoliver.com/holiday, where we're doing exclusive coaching for the holidays. So if you guys really want to thrive and you want some more hands-on, more like intimate access to me for coaching, and it's just $197. This is like $11,000 worth of stuff you guys are getting for $197. We know the whole thing around this, like, the holiday special, give you guys a break, and be in a supportive community where you can really thrive these next few weeks, stepping into this new season, looking, feeling, and living life as the highest expression of yourself in your full potential. But yeah, so I love you guys so much. If nobody's told you today, I do. And I hope to see you in the smaller group Message me if you have any questions, but the link is in my bio. You can read through it. And we are starting actually today at 3 p.m. So if you want in 3 p.m., you got it. You can get all of this access of my ebooks. You can get the ebooks, and we're throwing in a special bonus because I'm like, what else do I need to be successful? I'm traveling next week. And I always remember, I was like, okay, things are good when they're good when I'm in my own environment. But when I leave my environment and I'm around other people, whether being healthy and typically there's hasn't really been healthy enablers, but like unhealthy enablers, I'm not feeling strong, the Healthy Traveler Playbook, the Holiday Thriver Playbook, and then the Restaurant Eating Playbook. I can't say that 3 times really fast. I don't know. You got my triple threat playbook, all right? So my triple success playbooks all in one with this, and you get it forever. So anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here on a Saturday with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. We got 30 days of holiday thriving, and we start the coaching in this playbook today at 3. So hopefully I'll see you. And you're in a private Facebook group with me. So see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, let me end here too. What's up, you guys? All right, hopefully you had some value from today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12. Bye.